Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remko Rinkema, and you are watching Run It Back, the show in which we watch old school poker action. We throw it back to the past, and today we are watching the Doubles Poker Championship, which is all available on PokerGO. And I've picked this particular show for one reason and one reason only, and that reason is I've never seen it before. I've probably watched the most poker of any of you guys out there, of any of you poker fans. I've watched every single show. High Stakes Poker, Poker After Dark, WSOP, I've watched it all. European Poker Tour, I've seen it all. However, the Doubles Poker Championship, I've never watched before, so we're going to dive in. We're going to watch it all together. And if you guys have questions or requests, or if you want to let me know where you're watching from, this is the time and the place to do it, because this is a hangout that I am doing for you guys, with you guys, and I appreciate it so much that everyone is tuning in once again on Twitch, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channels, and know that I'm live twice a week doing this show. Sometimes we have a guest, sometimes I fly solo, and when I fly solo for the next few weeks, I'll be watching this show, which I've never seen before. We are on to episode 5 and 6 of the Doubles Poker Championship. We'll be able to see the matchups in just a few seconds as you guys see the intro rolling. And I believe there are 13 total episodes, and the winner of this event gets $1 million. It was a $50K buy-in. This was filmed back in 2009, so this is really, really old school, really, really throwback action. And, you know, just you guys have to stick around and see what's going on, because clearly this is going to have some epic names. Let's listen to the introductions here and see who we have at the table today.
To kick off. With only 4 rounds total, there's a chance that after tonight's matches, some players will be mathematically eliminated.
And one of those players who is under fire is Phil Hellmuth. He needs at least a second place finish to have a chance to make the playoffs. Annette Obrestad and Annie Duke make up team number 2. Duke also in trouble, needs at least a second place finish. Laak, Phil Ivey. Laak is in the same boat as Hellmuth and Duke. And then Jennifer Harmon and Phil Gordon make up team number 4 in match 9. 50,000 chips for each team, and a lot at stake. I'm excited.
All right, there we got the pairs for the first matchup. As always here on Run It Back, let me know in the chat, who are you rooting for here in this matchup? We have Phil Laak and Phil Ivey, Phil Hellmuth with Total Leonidas, Annie Duke with Annette Obrestad, and Jennifer Harmon with Phil Gordon here in the first round here on today's show. Remember, on Tuesday we did this show, and Annette Obrestad basically called Huckseat an idiot on national TV, which was truly amazing to watch. I will not forget that moment. I think it was pretty epic. By the way, I see Dave on Facebook. Dave, happy New Year to you as well. I appreciate it. John Morton, cheers. Watana says, Happy New Year as well. Eddie is ready. Robert says, boom. I appreciate it. Who else we got here? Robert says, playing PLO8 while watching the RIB. I appreciate it. That is amazing. Marcel Scherjong in the house. Marcel, hoe is het, jongen? Top. Dat is echt leuk. Dimitri watching as well. He loves Ivy. Let me know who you're rooting for. Rugar watching on Twitch. Laak and Ivy, he says, though they're all great, they are all great. That is the best part about the show. We have some epic couples here on the show. I must say, so far, Huckseat and Annette Obrestad was the best pairing because of the banter. I do think Annette Obrestad and Annie Duke might top this tonight.
That is already on her teammate.
What did I say?
I'll tell you, this girl never lets up.
I can't wait. Something's going to happen tonight.
I can't wait for the Obrestad-Ivy pairing.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
That materializes in round 4.
Yeah, coming to a theater near you soon.
All right, we have Ivy in the hand against the Gordon-Harmon duo. And just to keep you guys updated on how this format works, it's a 4-handed table. However, every pairing plays one set of cards. They play pre-flop, on the flop, on the turn, and on the river. So that means that you will go raising before the flop, and then you give your cards to your partner, and then they have to decide how to play on the flop. So this makes for some very, very interesting play, and I want to bring this show back. So if you like this, let me know, because I know a few people, and maybe I can have the ability to bring the show back in some kind of form.
It's going to be a chopped pot. If you believe that, you might as well bet first, get the other guy to call for only half. Phil has a difficult decision. I would expect him to call for a chop here. Running through his mind right now, reasonably enough, is what did Ivy call with on the flop if not an ace?
So many Dutch friends in the chat today. Menofleck watching as well. I appreciate it, buddy. Bruce in the house. Marco, Giovel, Wisco, Baron, as always with us. Chrome Magnum and Kevin Leeds. Chris Mason in the house. I appreciate it, man. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Do let me know where everyone is watching from. I appreciate it as always to find out whether or not we can still maintain maintain the name of most international show in all of poker, and I think we can still do that. All right, Lacey Jones getting the people at home updated on the action. I'm pretty sure we're bound to see some big all-ins because we know this structure was kind of fast. It was a bit of a turbo. Keith Moore says, Ivey and Laak are going to be an interesting game. Yeah, definitely. Try to picture yourself as well. If you were to play with one of these superstars, how intimidating it would be to make a loose raise or, to get handed the cards after Phil Ivey makes a 3-bet and all of a sudden it's up to you on the flop. I mean, I would absolutely be terrified, but I do think this format makes it very interesting. All right, real quick look at the leaderboard here. Johnny Chan and Huckseat leading the way, and then you guys can see all the names coming down the list, and then Annette Obrestad in 8th place, and I believe the final table will be 8-handed, so it's important to be part of that top 8. $1 million up top, mind you, $1 million up top, 50K buy-in for this event back in the day. I have no idea who won this. I have no idea. I've never seen this before. So we're going to watch all these episodes week after week and burn through them and just have some fun with it. And we've already seen some epic moments, so I appreciate it. Dave Cohn, watching from SoCal, appreciate it. Keith Moore, down East Maine. Don't know where that is, but Maine sounds like a wonderful place to come visit. Kentucky in the house as well. We got Portugal, Pittsburgh, USA, Philly. What else is happening here? New York City in the house. Pyromaniac, Ohio in the house on Twitch. I appreciate it.
Jennifer Harmon. She's going to raise.
Let's see what happens here.
Strange open limp with the Queen Jack. Not sure Ivey's going to love it when he gets the cards.
Well, that's one thing that these players really have to be cognizant of. Not only how your opponents play, but how does my teammate play?
Exactly, because Ivey's probably rarely had a situation where he's limp called with Queen Jack.
We saw it earlier in the first hand when Annette actually raised with Queen 7 offsuit, and Annie Duke didn't know what to do with it. Wow, what a flop. 10, 7, 8, all clubs. Obrestad and Duke have flopped the top straight. Laak and Ivey with a gut shot, overs, and the Queen of clubs. But Jennifer Harmon and Phil Gordon have flopped the King High flush.
This hand is insane.
Very strange. Everyone's flopped a strong hand, but Gordon and Harmon have everyone dead. Just a matter of maximizing value here.
How do you play it if you're a Duke? I mean, you've got the straight already, but you have no club in your hand.
This hand is insane.
I think you have to go all the way. You want to get the money in as quickly as possible.
Well, push is what they do. They raised it up to 12,000. That should get rid of Ivey. And it does.
Credit Ivey for not betting out on that flop.
And the action is over to Phil Gordon. Does he raise again, or does he just call?
All right, chat pros, let me know in the chat right now. What would you do in Phil Gordon's shoes? Do you want to slow play the King 9 with the second nut flush draw, a flush on the flop here? We can see that they have it, have them dead. Obrestad and Duke, are they going to fold if Gordon moves all in? I don't really know. Do we want to be aggressive here? Do we want to play it slow and see if we can get some more value here on the turn? Maybe Obrestad or maybe Obrestad will move all in. We know she's very aggressive. Of course, the cards go back to her after Annie Duke makes the flop decision. I'm really curious to see what Phil Gordon will do. You guys let me know in the chat what you would do.
I like a call. He knows a club probably shuts down his action. Worst case, it could have him dead if Annie's got an ace of clubs in her hand. But I like this slow play.
Well, he does call. Pot now nearly 34,000 chips. And the turn is the King of Spades. That changes nothing.
Uh-oh.
And Annette Obrestad bets enough to put Jennifer Harmon and Phil Gordon all in. Of course they call.
By the way, this is four-handed. Four-handed.
Obrestad and Duke can only smile as they now see their drawing dead. Completely irrelevant 6 of hearts on the river.
Can't blame them. They played it perfectly. It's just a cold deck situation.
All right, cold deck here to get rid of Annie Duke and Annette Obrestad, at least if they are covered. Let's go see if they actually leave the set here. Woodstock on Twitch says, I want your Twitch job. I miss these shows. I appreciate it, man. That means that I have the best job in the world. So every single heat on this show, and I see more people asking this, there was a random draw for who would be paired up together. They would play a certain amount of heats. You could win points in every heat, and then you move on to the semifinals. So in this case, you know, Annette is playing with Annie, and Annette has a lot more points than Annie. So, you know, the dynamics in that sense are also kind of interesting, because if you are playing for the win, your partner might only need a few more points to make the semifinals. So there's tons of dynamics going on here, and every single heat, which is a four-handed turbo, or a four-team turbo, I should say, they do a random draw again for the next pairing. Very interesting situation, and we have, I think we have 4 heats on this show today, so there's a lot more players that you will see in action as the show continues, and yeah, I think it's a great format. I would love to see more of this in the future.
Annette and Annie eliminated in this hand.
That's sweet.
A lot of smiling for a team with no chips.
We have it twins at least.
5-5-7. And that bet from Harmon pretty much tells the story.
Do we have outs? Do you have a pair?
Yeah.
A big one?
10s.
Oh, God. That's not
The worst hand to be up against for them.
Should I tell him?
How about running 5s or queen?
That's true, but I'm thinking of all the options.
Well, 7's not going to do it. Queen and only a queen. Nope, 4 diamonds on the river. And Annie.
0 points for Annie Duke and Annette Obrestad in this heat, and the action continues as Gordon and Harmon take another one down here in this heat. Bruce, as I said, the pairings are random in every heat. They play multiple heats, and then everybody collects points, and then you move on to the semifinal. A lot of people like the slow play there on the flop there, flat call. Everyone says that. Michael Patrick says have to raise in case they have the ace. You never know. You don't want to be up against the ace if another club comes off. But yeah, clearly you might want to take a little bit of risk there in hopes that they do indeed shove it all in on the turn, which is exactly what happened. And in this case, of course, it was a total cooler because Duke and Obrestad had a made straight. So definitely also a strong hand.
It's possible. I think Annette felt for Annie because she was in a must-win situation. She came into match 3 low in points.
Kid, come on.
What do you want me to do? I mean,
I don't know.
Still haven't figured out Laak and Ivey's chemistry.
Hellmuth raises it up with 4 deuce offsuit. Obviously using his button.
Vinny in the house from the UK. Appreciate you watching. That's awesome. We have AJ in the house from Wisconsin. We have a lot more UK. Kevin as well, and B. I appreciate you all watching today. That is awesome. Phil Ivey and Phil Laak going heads up here against Phil Hellmuth and Toto Leonidas. 4 deuce offsuit. What will Toto think when he looks at those cards?
Quad 6 is there for him.
Quads.
6-6 queen, couple of spades. And not surprisingly, nothing there for Toto Leonidas. This is one of those spots, though, we've talked about. When your teammate raises on the button, you almost have to put out that continuation bet even when you miss, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much an obligatory bet by Toto here.
Wow. How are we going to get the most? Clearly, this is going to be one street of value.
Ivey just calls. Tosses the hand over to Phil Laak. King of clubs on the turn. Wow. The fake yawn and tap of the table. Does that scream strength or what?
Yeah, very believable by Phil.
Of course, Phil Laak you're referring to. And action over to another Phil. That's Phil Hellmuth. He's going to check as well. And they are drawing dead. The river's the jack of hearts.
Ivey has the discipline to check. He always seems to know where the other guy is in the hand.
15.
And sure enough, Ivey gets Leonidas to bet. I mean, Ivey, absolute pure genius. Most players would bet after it went check, check on the turn.
All in.
But Ivey seems to know where he's at, and now he's all in.
Should I call a timeout?
Not much of decision there for Leonidas and Hellmuth.
I think tactically it was probably very close for Ivey between a check and a bet, but he must have read Toto as weak in the hand, so he assumed the only way to get more money in there was to have him bluff at it.
Quads for Phil Ivey. No big deal. Already the best.
I'm glad you bet 15. Good bet.
Wow.
Hellmuth likes the bet, but he can't like the result. A great start for Laak and Ivey, a team with a clearly defined plan.
I think this time I'm going to play a little careful early, just kind of get into the feel of it. Maybe somebody can knock themselves out, because I like winning.
I mean, I'm really handcuffed. I need us to win this. That sort of means, like, on the button with a pair of sevens or something, I'd be more wanting to get an all-in race, whereas you might be like, well, I'd rather, like...
I want to get an all-in race, too. Don't worry about it. I have dinner
That's
planned.
good. Dinner planned. I like that. So we're in syncopation right now. That's great. I was telling the guys that I think it's going to be interesting because anytime I've played against you, it's like, wow, I wish I could know what he had. I wish I could see his cards. And now I get to see your cards. They're my cards too, but at least I'm seeing your cards, buddy.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Oh, man. Phil Ivey in interviews is just, there's nothing like it. He is such a character. It's just such a different level of play and talk. And Milan Soccer on Twitch says, Phil always looks like he doesn't want to be there. That is correct. He never wants to be there. Phil Ivey just wants to be left alone and rake in all the money and win all the chips. That's all he cares about. If he wins this, he'll have a good day. If he doesn't, he'll have a terrible day, and he'll hate everything and everyone. So yeah, that's just a Phil Ivey mentality, and that's why he's the best, because it's like that Michael Jordan spirit, you know? He just comes up and shows up to win. Winning is all that matters to someone like Phil Ivey, and that's why I love it. That's why I love seeing him on the felt. And it's the same with Phil Hellmuth. You know, he wants to win, but he also wants to be there. You know, he's a bit of a different guy, but he has the same mentality. All right, here we go. Big hands.
16. All in.
Laak is all in. Hellmuth can't get his chips in fast enough.
Classic Hellmuth call there.
That would have been a genius fold, huh? Can I fold that? I could if I was a super genius.
Look at
Laak
Ivey.
is trying to make light of the situation. Ivy's having none of it.
Oh.
But there's a queen in the door. Ace, six, queen, all hearts.
Wow.
Great flop for Laak.
Be nice to win this. I think we might have the chip lead.
Five of clubs on the turn. It is Hellmuth and Leonidas at risk.
After this.
A king and only a king.
No, I guess not.
Swing, it's a four of spades. And Hellmuth and Leonidas
Honestly, I'm embarrassed.
are
I'm sorry
out.
if I was a little too much. I'm all, you know,
Pretty standard that they would get it in pre-flop there. Ace-king, ace-queen, both monsters three-handed. Hellmuth's bad luck continues. He's been very unlucky in his three doubles poker matches.
Dave Temple on Facebook is asking, is Ivey really miserable, or is it just his persona at the table? He's not miserable at all. He's a really funny and interesting guy. He just doesn't like all the media attention. He just rather plays in Bobby's room and collects all the money, but he knows that there's a lot of money to be won in the format like this as well. So, you know, clearly he's sort of going through the motions in order to be part of a show like this. And this was back during the Full Tilt Poker era, so they clearly were getting sponsored to play in an event like this. And, you know, Ivey doesn't turn down a chance at a free $1 million. Heads up now in the
There are some raising
first
chips.
heat.
He raises it up to 5,800.
22,500. Net. I'm putting in 22,500.
And Laak announces a raise up to 22,500.
Huge hands here, heads up.
This is a very big raise. Typically, re-raises would only be 2.5 to 3 times. In this case, Laak 3-bets all the way to 22,500.
Hector
He's
on
only gonna want to
Twitch.
3-bet this hand if he intends to call a 4-bet.
Hector on Twitch says, Ivey has the same look while riding a roller coaster. That's absolutely true. Dead inside.
Jennifer Harmon gives the universal signal for timeout.
All right, so just if you're new to the show, if you're new to the Doubles Poker Championship, they are allowed to take a timeout and discuss the hand, which is the best part of the show because they say some funny things sometimes.
Ace Jack. I was going to, but I didn't want to.
No question.
Quick deliberation.
Oh,
No question is what we hear. I agree with that.
And I'm pretty sure Harmon was going to move all in. Just wanted to get confirmation from her teammate.
Don't love taking the timeout. Makes the situation look marginal.
Okay, timeout. We're gonna have a timeout. I'm gonna show you my hand. I can show them now, right? If we're having a timeout. Oh, I can just tell you. Yeah.
I believe you.
I'm not gonna make it up.
oh, this is amazing. All right, we got back-to-back timeouts.
We have king, queen of clubs. That's what we have. I double checked. So it's 72 to collect 72 plus 45, which is 117, or what is that?
The math is definitely right. It just
It feels like they have ace king.
it feels that way. That's the problem, because of actually how fast they came back. I think if they had aces, they would have taken a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna throw it away, I think.
Okay.
Well, it's close.
This was an historic moment. If you're just watching the show and if you're just randomly stumbling onto this channel, this is the first and only time in my life that I've heard Phil Ivey talk strategy. Like, keep that in mind, how rare that is. I'm going to go back and it was only like 5 seconds, but Phil Ivey talking strategy has never, ever happened before. This is historic footage.
What's the problem? 117, or what is that?
The math is definitely right. It just
It feels like they have ace king.
it feels that way. That's the problem, because of actually how fast they came back. I think if they had aces, they would have taken a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna throw it away, I think.
Okay.
Well, it's close.
Well, in the last 10 seconds, Ivy was like, throw it away, and then it shifted to it's close to, you guys probably have ace king. The best part about Ivy is I know that if I decide to call, he's not going to hurt. He's not going to be hurt inside mentally by my decision, I don't think. I think you're going to be okay with it if I did that.
You can rarely get a read on Ivy, but I get the feeling he wouldn't love to hear the word call right now.
So we can still survive. We can still come back.
This is amazing.
Why didn't I just call? I'm such a donkey.
This is so
We
good.
fold. We fold. You win. I
Wow.
was right, right? If I decided to stuff it, you weren't going to.
It's gonna make me no different.
Right, yeah.
Well, they wanted to call, but they changed their mind after the very quick deliberation by Harmon and Gordon.
A win makes the road to the semis a lot smoother for Phil Laak. Unfortunately for him, he's trending in the wrong direction. Let's take a look at how the rest of the championship will play out. After 4 regular season rounds, the top 16 move on to the semifinals. In event of a tie, a playoff will determine who moves on. The important thing is the teams stay together after the playoffs. So whoever your teammate is once the playoff starts, that's your teammate until the end. And of course, the winning team splits $1 million.
Wow, I did not know that. So once we head into the playoff phase of this tournament, we will go into, by the way, all in.
Call also if you had pocket jacks. Jacks against threes and Laak and Ivy's tournament life on the line.
Ivy had to push threes there, really no other way to play it.
It's 48, all net, net, net. It's probably going to go your way. But it might not. Nearly 20% of the time it goes our way. Almost 20%. That's a lot. And sometimes you don't have that much in gambling.
Phil Laak, obviously the table spokesman.
6.
10, 5, 6,
4
couple of
dimes.
diamonds out there.
Be a good sick one. Or we could reverse it with the 7 of clubs.
Well, how about the 7 of spades?
Now we have tons of ups. Any 4, 3, it's like 12% almost.
Well, actually, it's 14%.
12, it's less than 20, but it's something.
8 of hearts, not one of those
Nice one, boss.
outs that Ivy and Laak needed.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Phil Gordon is now locked in. He's got a place in the playoffs. For Jennifer Harmon, it's a huge win, and it puts her back in the hunt. Phil Laak will need a win in his final match, while Duke and Hellmuth will be playing for pride. That and their teammate. Coming up, more third-round action from the game's big stars, including the 2-time world champion, Johnny Chan.
Wow, we got some amazing matches coming up here. The first one went to Phil Gordon and Jennifer Harmon. As you guys can see, Annie Duke and Phil Hellmuth already eliminated, can no longer make the playoffs, so they're playing just for fun as we roll into the next round here on Run It Back. If you're new to this show, we watch old school poker action. Sometimes we fly solo, sometimes I have a guest, but always and all the time, I have you guys with me to support the show. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're new to PokerGO and if you want to watch all of this, as well as all the new episodes of High Stakes Poker and Poker After Dark, you can do so by subscribing right now. use the promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual subscription. And if you like PokerGo merch and High Stakes Poker merch and Poker After Dark merch, go to PokerGoShop.com right now and use the promo code REMKO, that's my name, REMKO, to take $10% off your total purchase of the website. So go ahead and check that stuff out. All right, here we have the new pairings. Let me know who you like. We have Huck Seat and Carlos Mortensen. We have Mike Mattisau and Alan Cunningham, Tony G and Johnny Chan, and then we have Tom Dwan and Antonio Esfandiari here in this heat. Pick your favorites. Root for the ones you want to see win here in this heat. And the action is now officially underway in another round of the Doubles Poker Championship.
Whatever you want to say. Okay, and if they don't answer, you run back in the room, get dressed.
Do you have any Himalayan sea salt?
How much would he take? So we did the lot and things, and more me and him.
What was the number? I would say.
I'm gonna tell you. Just hold on. So me and him are going, and we're on the same path. So we get to like 25,000, right? And I'm thinking, okay, it's about. I think he's about 30. I think I would go over one, but he gets to 25,000, and Antonio says buy. So he thinks under 25,000. So, I don't know. I don't think you're gonna win. So Greg goes, I might be a slut, but I'm not a cheap slut. 454,000.
Who said that?
Greg Raymer. That was his number. 454,000. So me and him, we thought it. We
I
thought,
can't believe that. I might believe 100,000.
Wait. So we thought it was so ridiculously nuts that me and him decided we're going to flip a coin, and whoever loses has to do it for free. So we didn't have a coin, so we did a dollar bill, odd or even on the fourth number.
You lost?
You don't think I'm ever going to win a prop bet, right? So, of course,
meanwhile, Mike Mattisau was on some rant that I can't really follow and don't understand. So gives me a chance to let you guys know that we're giving away more PokerGo goodies. If you go to Instagram right now, go to the PokerGo page on Instagram, follow us, and like the most recent photo of Rick Solomon, and let us know in the comments who your favorite player is on the new season of High Stakes Poker. We're giving away goodie bags. It's a random draw for who is going to win those, and I have the winners from last Tuesday's show as well. We have PLO8 player Matt Puntin and Big Fish No Shrimp. Those are the three winners from the giveaway last Tuesday. So yes, we are picking winners from the people that leave a comment on the most recent Instagram post. So go and do that while you watch, and we will dive deeper into the action here on this show. And at the same time, you guys can win some goodies. I think the bag has a hat, a shirt, deck of cards, a whole bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool. I have all the stuff here as well, and I'll wear one of the hats next week on the show. My hair's pretty good today, so don't have to wear a hat.
He's got 9s on the button.
Huh? Roulette hat.
8 and 16, right?
9-ball corner pocket.
Interesting slow play. A strange hand to slow play. 2 9s.
Is that legal? He called for me.
Seed completes. Mattisau checks.
Whenever door opens, you get to find out what kind of mess you're in.
And the cards go from teammate to teammate. The flop brings a pair of aces for Seed and Mortensen, a gut shot for Mattisau and Cunningham, and the 9s have not improved. But with only one overcard in an unraised pot, you probably still think your 9s are good.
Yeah, Esfandiari and Dwan wouldn't mind seeing a bet go in on this street. Mortensen has to love his position.
Well, the team with the worst hand actually bets Cunningham with the gut shot. He bets Esfandiari.
This is classic 2009 poker. Raising for information here by Mortensen. Really interesting, obviously. Super dry board with the ace on there. You're only really going to get action from a stronger hand. For the most part, there's no draws out there. So why is Carlos Mortensen raising? And also, how did he win $20 million playing poker? That's a great question. Or maybe I'm missing something. Chat, if I'm being an idiot, let me know in the chat. I'm not a great player either. I just play for fun. But I do think that a raise like this on a board like this with a hand like this, probably not very smart. However, he does get a call from Esfandiari with the 9s, which in turn also surprises me.
At this point.
Well, not as important right now. The 9-ball on the turn, and Dwan and Esfandiari have hit their set.
This hand is played very unconventionally so far. Now Seaton Mortensen checking after raising the flop.
And Dwan checks behind with trip 9s.
He reasons that they might well be bluffing, so he wants them to bluff one more time on the river. If they have a big hand, it's all going in on the river anyway.
8 of diamonds on the river, and it's a full house for Esfandiari and Dwan. And now it's just a question of how much value they can get out of this hand. Pot is nearly 26,000 chips, and the bet is just about half, 13,500.
You'd expect a call now from Seed and Mortensen.
So if I raise, you probably are not gonna fall, right? 13-5?
Not clear what they can beat, but having played the hand this way, it would be very bizarre to give it up here.
I need a time.
Well, I think he's as confused as we are, and they're calling a timeout.
I hope Huck C says, why'd you raise the flop?
Me gustó cuando subiste por el flop.
Oh, he says it. He says it.
No quiero pagar. ¿Qué piensan?
Yo creo cuando le suben el flop no tiene ningún draw, solo si tiene 4 o 5. Entonces, o tiene el as, en qué caso puede tener el as con un mejor kicker, o tiene el 8. Es lo único que puede querer en
Tiene
el
el 8, pero tiene as 10, as jota.
Y además
no sé,
su verde es para que le quiera.
No me gustó jugar.
You guys will make your decision.
Well, the rule is English only at the table. Don't think there's anything written when it comes to timeouts. I'm not sure if they settled on anything, though, in that timeout.
All right, Antonio. You got it.
Wow, he shows the ace and folds.
Very good fold.
So as I said, and Huck C just got inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, that raise on the flop was really weird, and it was kind of cool to hear Huck C speak Spanish. We learned one more thing here from the show. For the people asking about the Instagram giveaway, it is the Rick Solomon photo that we just posted. Let us know in the comments of that photo who your favorite player was or is on the new season of High Stakes Poker. By the way, new episodes airing every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and new episodes of Poker After Dark every Monday night. We moved it up from Sunday to Monday, so don't forget and don't miss out. All that action, of course, is available if you are a subscriber. And keep in mind, if you're just subscribing just now, you get the first 4 episodes of the new season already available at your fingertips. So a lot of action to burn through. But don't leave me now. Stay with me at least until the end of this show before you dive into the High Stakes Poker action. By the way, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. I do this show twice a week, and I also create all these cool videos that we have on our YouTube channel. And I have a really cool thing. Tomorrow on YouTube, we are releasing a clip from the new season of High Stakes Poker. So if you are not yet convinced that it's going to be worth your while, the hand that we're posting tomorrow is a pot worth over $800,000 on our YouTube channel. So give it a chance. Give that a look. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, that's when the big clip comes out from the new season of High Stakes Poker. It's going to be Bryn Kenny and Rick Solomon. Incredible hand. I love the action. It's been amazing. All right, here we have a lot of action too. Let's listen in.
Often we say it's a bluff when people move in quickly. In this case, he's got a legitimate re-raising hand.
Pull the 51s in, please.
Action folds around to Mike the Mouth.
I'm going to take a timeout.
And he's taking a
Can I look real
timeout.
fast?
Yeah.
We're back.
And you know what? If I had Alan Cunningham as my partner, I would take a timeout also.
Tough spot.
Kind of did it. What is it? 21 is like 12,000 in there. I tend to think he's got like an ace 10 or something.
I don't think he has that though.
You know?
I think he's weak. He's probably a king jack.
It's a possible call, but we're getting like 3-2. So it's like he's got us there.
I'll go with you, but I think we got him. But
yeah, go for it then.
We call.
Cunningham's instincts dead on, but he gives in. No question why this guy dominates the felt. Mattisau's instincts sharp as a butter knife.
Wow, that's a long call there, Mikey.
I think Tony G fooled him a little bit by moving in so quickly. Mike read that as a bluff.
I thought he had king jack.
Well, both players with the pair of aces. Mattisau.
Who needs ranges, right? I thought he had king jack. Just one hand, king jack.
Let's make this one look even more like an 8.
Ping, 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 ping.
That is not an 8. It's close to an 8, but it's not an 8.
21.
No, 22-1.
All right, Tony G and Johnny Chan double up here on the Doubles Poker Championship. Excited to have so many of you guys watching. B is saying, is Huck still playing? Yes, he still plays, but we haven't seen him all that much. I believe he dabbles in some cash games, but of course, it's pretty clear that due to COVID, there's no live action really going on. Oh, by the way, here are the payouts. $1 million up top for the winning couple, 500K, 200K, 100K. This, of course, is one of the preliminary heats. We are about to move into the playoffs at a later stage. And then
Poker Championship splits $1 million.
Oops, my bad. I just hit the volume button. But yeah, basically, they go through the heats first, collect all the points, and then we go into the playoffs and then the finals ultimately. And you can see all of that here on the back. We're going to do it every single week and get through the show, which I think is an awesome format. If you like this format, let us know in the comments or in the chat, because I would love to bring this back.
Or is
I'm on it.
Ooh.
I love Tony G and Mike Mattisau.
And look at that. Mattisau raises it up again with a somewhat weak ace. This time Tony G thinks about it and moves all in.
Tony reasons that if ace-8 warrants only a hesitant call, almost every other hand is a fold.
Show him the 4, Tony. Show a bad one, Tony.
We don't have a bad
Now
one.
Mike folds even better than ace-8. Ace-9, a very strong hand to fold on the button. Great move by Tony G.
Tony G working on all cylinders right now. He gets Mike the mouth to call when he has the worst of it, and he gets him to fold when he has the best of it.
Pretty much the same situation.
Herf3, apologize for the bump in audio. I'm also wearing headphones, and that also blew my ears out. So I hope everybody is still alive. I hope everybody's still alive. I am live, by the way, for the people that are wondering. The show that we're watching on this side is from 2009. So we're going back in the old school, in the archives, to watch all this stuff.
Who would I be? I'm all in.
Wow. Tom Dwan limps in with pocket nines. Now he has 10-8 offsuit, and he's all in for his last 51,300.
At this point, Tom's seen the other teams fold some very strong hands. He might reason that he can shove any 2 cards profitably at this point.
Kings.
Let's see, what should we do? We call. Ah! How's that for a sweat?
Well, damn, 10-8 against kings.
I like how they look
That's
at
what
one
they
and
call
then they have a sweat.
This is what we're betting against in the
Did
World
I
Series.
beat you this in the
Yeah, but
bad
you
boys?
have it. You had it. He got it.
I
this
beat
time.
you like this, all in. Oh, and
I wonder what happens when I look down at like a 9. I think this wasn't there.
I want some kind of a title with this hand. It's all right.
I do get all the fun. No, you got the fun hand the one time.
This is a WPT winning hand. This is gonna win.
No. 10-8?
Yeah, I won.
We have a club? Oh, we have a club. Yes, that's beautiful.
If a 6 cut would be a hell of a card.
Oh, that's a good card.
That's dead.
That's it. That's
Sayonara.
All right, they are dead. Tom Dwan and Antonio Esfandiari. They double up Mattisau and Cunningham. Gary Hotmail watching on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. GSR says 2009, a simpler time. Definitely true. Solo Asylum also, thank you so much for chiming in. If you're watching on Twitch, do feel free to engage in the comments because I do read every single one of them. Pat Dart says, what's up, Remko? Well, I'm doing great. I'm shuffling chips. I'm hosting a show. I'm talking to my friends. Life is pretty good, actually. I love doing the show. Oh, wait, what's Antonio saying? We have to see this probably. All right. Let's listen in. We'll...
Dwan still has some chips left.
You guys were playing really, really well, too, for a while.
How much?
Matt is out digging it
I'm not going to lie, you were playing well.
10-8 came up that he couldn't.
You were playing well.
I mean, I don't know. I would make it like 8,000 if you ship. I'd probably fold 30, 10 high, you know. 30. Open shove, you know. That's third, you know. But, you know, he didn't get to where he is not doing that kind of stuff. So, whatever. I can't get upset, you know.
Tom Dwan, definitely one of the more crazy players in poker history, but we do love to watch it. All right, here we have an all-in seat in Mortensen for 11,000 against the 8s of Mattisau and Cunningham.
And Cunningham made the call with the
Be
snowman.
nice if there's no kings in there.
Do you want us to make a wheel or a flush?
It is Mortensen at seed, at risk. Oh, wow. 3-8-3, trip threes for seed and Mortensen, but a full house for Mattisau and Cunningham.
King, man.
That's so sick.
I just saw 2 threes. I was like, how about 3-3?
What a hand.
There's 3, then 3, then 8. That's sick.
Whee!
Did anyone have a 3 in their hand? We could just go now.
Yeah, I had one.
No one had a 3. We got
There's 2 kings. There's
3s
2
are
kings
coming.
in the deck.
3 could be coming.
Could be king. Oh, no.
Wait, your 10s and 8s got there.
King, no. Still worse than kings and 3s.
Does anyone needle
Come on,
like
that's
Mike the
three.
Mouth?
King, 3 is full of kings.
10.
4, it looked like a 3.
4 spades and Huck Seed and Carlos
Sorry, you
Mortensen
guys only got 40
are
points.
eliminated. Both former world champions
only got 31.
out in 4th place. If anyone could afford a donut.
0 points for Huckseed and Carlos Mortensen, but as we saw on the show on Tuesday, they can definitely afford it because they have won plenty of points. Ross says, Remko, do you think you could beat Mattisau heads up online in 2021? If you give me 2 weeks to practice, yes, definitely. I've never really played heads up or never really tried to play heads up, but I think that I could beat Mattisau. Maybe even right now without any practice. But yeah, I don't have the soul reads that he does, but I do have a little bit of poker skill, obviously. He says Mattisau before the baldness took over. I mean, 2009, man, that's a long time ago. I mean, I had a lot more hair back then too. It's getting a little thin up there. I'm sorry about that. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat. Carl says, do you remember Moneymaker casually mentioning that Huckseed had to bring a pile of cash to the club early morning because of the tab they had after he won the main? Absolutely, I do remember that. If you want to watch the Run It Back episode that I did with Chris Moneymaker, he tells that story about how Huckseed had to basically come to the club to pay Moneymaker's tab because he had run up such a massive tab partying after winning the main event, which is pretty hilarious. Pascal says, I like this format. I would love to play this format with one of my friends. Absolutely. And by the way, on the subject, let us know in the chat, who would you like to play with in the Doubles Poker Championship? It could be a friend. It could be a famous player. Let's watch this all in.
Virtual coin flip to drawing dead for Tom Dwan and Esfandiari.
And we hit a straight.
I made a straight. We have to beat a straight.
You have more than this, right?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
Tom owes a flag for one reason or another. A $5,000 last longer, maybe?
How many chips does Dwan have in his pocket? He tosses a 5K chip like it was a Hershey's Kiss. Well, he lost the last longer and his chance to win the Doubles Poker Championship.
All right, we lost Dwan and Esfandiari there. The action continues. Heads up between Tony G and Johnny Chan and Alan Cunningham and Mike Mattisau. If you are enjoying the action, please smash that like button and subscribe to our channels. I really appreciate it. I'm just here to entertain you guys and to watch this because I've never seen it before, which is kind of rare because I've watched basically every single poker show ever created. SC says, does PokerGO have all the episodes of this? Yes. If you're tired of my nonsense and my talking, you can go to PokerGO.com right now and watch every episode of the Doubles Poker Championship. It's all available. It's all on there, all 13 episodes. But I do promise that I will be watching all of them here on Run It Back. So if you just want to enjoy it with me, then you can also do so and keep tuning into this show week after week. And we'll have a little bit of a slow burn, but we'll enjoy the action all together. All right, Mattisau flop strips here against the flush draw and gut shot of Tony G and Johnny Chan.
Mike comes right out betting. He bets half the pot.
And Tony G just calls with a draw that big.
He maybe senses something's up.
9 of clubs on the turn.
We definitely expect Alan to continue here. He's trying to figure out sizing. Oh, he checks.
He's going to play it a little trappy, and Johnny Chan takes the card. And the 10 of diamonds completes Tony G's flush. Tony G and Johnny Chan with the flush. Mattisau and Cunningham with trip sixes. Mattisau checks. Here's a 10,000 chip bet from Tony G.
Tony and Johnny have worked together just perfectly in this hand.
Really interesting the way this one played out. Mattisau decided to check the river. And now he's just going to check and call.
Give Mattisau credit for only losing 10K on this river.
I swear I nearly moved in on the flop.
That's good, you know.
I thought you would have bet
How
the
about
turn.
unfortunately? I wouldn't bet the turn. I played it right.
Old school.
But I just thought the pot was so funny. Like, I only got called with a 6, so...
Yeah, if he move in, he calls. If
With
a
a
4 or
6.
6 come,
yeah.
Now
You played perfect. I think we both played the hand really well.
It just felt like you had the hand because the way you bet out on it. Yeah, just felt.
Newsflash, that should have been all in on the flop. Come on, guys. Trip sixes against a gut shot straight flush draw. Come on, get some gamble going. Get the money moving. Or maybe I'm just being too aggressive. DJ Deathstroke says, over 300 in here and only 20 likes. Come on, peeps. Yeah, come on, peeps on YouTube. Smash that like button. I need it. I need it to keep my job. I appreciate it as always. Gary Hotmail says, Phil H is my favorite player and he's watching from the UK. Yeah, let's do another round. Let us know where you're watching from. I appreciate it as always. All right, here we have an all-in sixes against King Deuce. Let's see how the showdown goes.
Here, he's got the king.
You got the butcher of Baghdad. What do you got?
6 of space. Any black 6.
No, 6 is space better.
We don't want a red 6, though.
There's something wrong if we did.
In the Battle of the Mouths, Tony G wins this one.
We're about...
Not a bad flop for that hand.
We're about 85. 90?
You're very big.
Probably more than 90.
We need a
Well,
doctor.
it's more than 85, less than
Doctor in the
90.
house.
4 clubs on the turn, and that gives Tony G and Johnny Chan a straight. Only a black 6 on the river will chop it up. Otherwise, it's over. And it is over. The deuce of clubs on the river.
All right. That was fun.
And Tony G and Johnny Chan get the check mark and the 20 points. Johnny Chan, a perfect 3 for 3.
Wow.
Johnny has played amazing in this series.
Johnny Chan now with 60 points. The more points he gets in the preliminary matches means the more chips he'll have when the playoffs come. Johnny and Tony are with Lacey right now.
Congratulations, guys. Johnny, 3 for 3. What's your secret?
The secret is patience, disciplines. Just watch the other players play and pick up a little bit here and pick up a little bit there, and you just finish at the end.
Now, is it your
Still got
partners or is it you? What's getting you here?
I think my partner got something to do with it, of course. I mean, he's very aggressive. He played fantastic. I mean, we stole a lot of money today, believe me. We stole a lot of money today.
And Tony, what was it like playing with Johnny tonight?
It was great, and I felt I played my tightest game that I could. So if you think I'm like aggressive today, you have no idea. I mean, I really try to play really tight for me. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I think I'm trying to learn something from Johnny and enjoy myself. I love knocking Dur out. I mean, I've done it so many times now in tournaments, and it's just, it gives me so much pleasure to rip him apart and send him back to where he belongs. But
Why is that? Why does it give you so much
because he's like on a pedestal. He's so high up. So I mean, these are the people I'm after. Dur, Gus, Ivey. These are the ones I want to crush.
Let's take a look at how the team stacked.
All right, that was an amazing interview from Tony G, and we are moving into match number 11. I believe we have 12 total first-round matches. This is David Oppenheim with Chris Ferguson. As you can see, Oppenheim is already probably eliminated, or maybe he needs 2 wins to get to the next round, but he is with Chris Ferguson in this heat. We have Gavin Smith and Andrew Lichtenberger, Mr. Lucky Chewy. He already has quite a bit of points. Nick Schulman with Eric Seidel. They are both looking quite all right for the points. A few more will probably do it for them. And then we have Phil Galfon and Greg Mueller. Let me know in the chat who you like best from these 4 partners, teams, pairings, however you want to call it. It's going to be the next match here running on Run It Back. All right, let me look into the chat for some shout-outs. We have Steven watching from Kentucky. We have Amarillo, Texas in the house. Terry Tucker. We have Tyler in the house from California. We have Rickard watching from Luleå in Sweden. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's what it sounded like in my head. Montreal in the house on YouTube. Beirut, North Carolina. Colchester. Oh, Mitch is in the house from the capital of Pastramieville. Uba Salami. Appreciate you tuning in as always, Mitch. That is awesome. London in the house as well. What else we got here? Vienna. Michael, thank you so much for watching. Twitch, do let me know where you watch from as well. I appreciate it as always. Let's see. DJ Deathstroke says, why don't I get the new high-stakes poker season? Well, that is available on PokerGo. It costs a lot of money to make these shows, so it's on PokerGo. It's $20 off the annual subscription if you use the promo code HSP to subscribe to PokerGo, and I promise you it will be worth your while. We are putting out new content every Monday and every Wednesday. That is when the new Poker After Dark and the new High Stakes Poker episodes come out, and we have plenty more to come in the future. Elias saying, is this live? I am live. I am live. The action is from 2009. You see Gavin Smith on the screen, RIP. Gavin, he was one of the greats, one of the best entertainers in the game of poker, and sadly he is no longer with us, but we are celebrating the game of poker with some of this old school action. And of course, when live poker returns, and I'm talking the big tournaments, I will do some run-it-back shows with these big live tournaments. I'll watch some US Poker Open, Poker Masters, Super High Roller Bowl. I might even get to do some World Series of Poker analysis here on the run-it-back show during the WSOP if that comes back in a timely fashion. So all that being said, let's listen in on this hand.
Usually you're ahead with ace-deuce. You just want to call and then reevaluate on the turn. Raising is turning a made hand into a bluff.
Schulman just flats there. He calls. The turn is the Queen of Hearts. And this is where working with your teammate really is imperative in doubles poker. Gavin Smith check raises. Check raise bluff, you have to imagine. Lichtenberger continues that bluff.
Eric has a tough decision. I think in these spots you're best off going with the read of your teammate. Clearly Nick thinks his hand is best. Seidel decides to continue with that read, continue with the idea that the 6 is good.
Well, speaking of 6s, there's another 6 out there, and Schulman and Seidel have now filled up.
Gavin's going to have a hard time continuing the bluff on this card. It doesn't change very much. Doesn't look like Seidel and Schulman intend to fold. He wisely checks. He has some kind of hand here, ace high on the double paired board.
I'm out.
Wow, so soon.
Time out.
Interesting spot here.
I'm just checking. I check.
That was a long time out.
Surprising. I would think they would fire out a little bet with 6s full there.
We win.
Strategically, I think you should always use the full timeout.
Well, the interesting thing is, not only did they decide to check, but both players, and we're talking about world-class players, decided to check instantaneously.
A very tight check there from the Schulman-Seidel pairing, which, of course, is great to see those two players together. We have Mexia, Texas in the house as well. St. Louis. Merav says, Baby Nick. Definitely Baby Nick in the house. Eduardo is watching. I'm sorry, my Spanish is not that great, but I appreciate you tuning in. We have Bucharest in the house, France. What else we got going on? This is, by the way, the Doubles Poker Championship. These guys play in pairs. So one player plays the flop or pre-flop. The next player plays on the flop, on the turn, and on the river. It goes back and forth. So you have to really be in tune with your teammate to bring this to a good conclusion. And this is heat number 11 of this very format, which was filmed back in 2009. I have no idea who's going to win, which is why I'm watching it. And there's $1 million first prize. So pretty exciting stuff.
Moving on here. Mueller decides to complete from the small blind. Ferguson raises it with the ducks. And Mueller's out of position, but you know what? He's going to make this speculative call with 7-5 suited. Part of me thinks he's making that call because it's Phil Galfond is his partner.
Etobicoke in the house.
Something to that.
I used to live there.
Wow, what a flop. 4, 3, 4, 2 diamonds out there. It's not a bad flop for a pair of deuces, but it's a great flop if you're Galfond and Mueller.
Hesitant bet from Oppenheim.
6,200 into about 9,000. And Galfond with the gut shot straight flush draw. Plus overs.
Hold on. Give me a quick rating on these glasses that Greg Mueller is wearing. Out of 10. Rating out of 10 on Greg Mueller's glasses in the chat. Let me know right now. I have a strong opinion, but I won't say it until you guys say it. Let me know. The rating on Greg Mueller's glasses, rating 1 out of 10. Anyway, we have Manitoba, Canada in the house. We have Trinidad in the house. Manila, Manitoba.
Well, let's put Phil Galfond in that a lot of players category because he just shipped it.
Really tough spot for Oppenheim and Ferguson.
Timeout.
Wow. Big move
Opie
here.
calls a timeout, and if Opie and Ferguson decide to make this call, they are at risk. Remember, Oppenheim only has 4 points.
I know you're going to fold this, right?
I'm actually fine either way.
You know, I mean, I really feel like we can take trips out of the equation.
Exactly. And
you know,
probably 3-2, by the way.
And probably a pocket
and I'm
pair.
Thinking, and a pocket pair, so we're looking at 2 overs of flush draw,
And
2 overs of straight draw.
It's, you know, what? We have 10 seconds? Huh?
5 seconds left. It's a 30-second.
That might not have been a wise usage of 8 seconds.
I'm fine either way.
Huh?
I'm fine either way. I'm totally fine either way.
I don't even think it's fair to be able to ask Jesus what to do with a hand.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Huh?
No more talking.
Chris's opinion was that he had no opinion.
There are many interesting facets about this hand. Not only might you be up against overs and a flush draw, but you've got to realize that if a 3 falls, it kills your pair of deuces.
Yeah, counterfeiting is a big part of the problem. You can never be in good shape against anything with 2 deuces.
The timeout is over or the hand is over?
No, hands live.
That was 30 seconds? Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it was 22 seconds of talking, and then Nick ascertained that it was 8 seconds of you complaining that your time was almost up. And master of the useless timeout, Opie Oppenheim.
That's an awesome name.
Now remember, Oppenheim also only has 4 points. He needs a win or a second place. He might gamble, and he does gamble. He shoves him in there, and Ferguson endorses the decision.
All right, here we go. I love it.
Wished he checked the.
Do we have enough outs, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have enough outs? I believe that is more than half the deck. 20 cards to hit their flush or straight or pair. Wow.
Flop with 2 deuces. It's a tough hand to play. I mean, 4-4-3 is as good a board as you get. I guess no board is great for deuces, but if you don't want to bet call on the flop, you have to check the flop. That's a pretty ugly
I
scenario.
think they're bricking it. Me and Greg used all our good luck earlier. Oh,
Dead.
Ooh, ace
Almost.
of diamonds on the turn, and Galfond and Mueller have completed their flush. Oppenheim and Ferguson need a deuce or a 4 on the river, or they will be eliminated in 4th place.
Opie always wins these hands.
He doesn't.
This is a foregone conclusion.
The Poker After Dark, when him and Ivy got it in, it's sort of the similar thing. It was
Right, yeah.
And the river's a 9 of diamonds, and Oppenheim and Ferguson are eliminated.
All right, see you later, Oppenheim and Ferguson. They did not have many points, so they really needed to swing for the fences to collect a lot of points. By the way, back to the glasses, Greg Mueller. I love Greg Mueller. Those glasses in my book get a 1 or maybe a 0. I'm seeing some 1s and some 10s and everything in between, so that means that everybody is very divided on these glasses, which I think is an accurate representation of what those glasses really stand for. All right, I'm not taking any shots and I'm just drinking water. GTO says, looking slim, Remko, happy for you. I'm feeling slim too. Had a good couple of days here, but the holidays have been very fattening. I hope you guys all at home had good holidays as well. Happy holidays, and New Year is still in play, I guess, January 7th? Yeah, I think so.
Went from 3 outs to 7 in a hurry.
Deuce of spades on the turn.
You play pool? Not as good as Nick Shulman.
How about a 9-ball? Corner pocket? Nope, it's a 3 of diamonds.
I hope you guys have a really long, drawn-out heads-up match.
All right, they're heads up already. That went pretty fast. We say goodbye to Gavin Smith and Andrew Lichtenberger here, and we're down to heads up between Mueller and Galfond and who else?
Goes out in 3rd. He's still in good shape to make the playoffs, but Gavin Smith will need a 1st to join him.
Of course, we have Shulman and Seidel heads up here on the show. By the way, if you guys are having a good time, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it.
And Mueller with 87,000. Galfond takes a look at ace-queen. Galfond is so impressive.
The guy is tough. Just calm, perfect poker logic.
Is that the thieving card?
Shulman's going to call this with a queen-8.
Hesitant call. Shulman's heads-up style, he's very, very careful out of position.
Oh, this kind of flop could get him in trouble. 9-7 queen, top pair for both teams. Seidel now at the decision. He checks over to Mueller. Top pair, top kicker.
Greg obviously would love to get it in here.
He bets 8,500.
He pretended he had to think about it. Made a hesitant-looking bet.
Big spot here, heads up.
And how do you play top pair, weakish kicker?
I think you just call. Make it look like you might have a 7 or a 9. Induce a bluff later if they don't have a hand.
Well, that's what Seidel does. He calls. Turns a 5 of spades. That gives him more outs. They now have a gut shot as well. A 6 on the river will complete Shulman and Seidel straight. An 8 will give them 2 pair.
We'd expect Nick to check here again.
Well, you'd expect it, but you'd be expecting wrong. Bet 17,500.
Take time out.
He's worried about free cards. He thinks he has the best hand. He doesn't want to give any free cards.
Well, Galfond calls timeout.
I might as well. I mean, I think I'm just shoving.
I figured you would do that.
The thing is, he could have like a queen jack, queen 10, and trying to get me to shove pair plus draw or turn draw.
Right.
He's not check calling the flop with total air, so they can't really have air. But
I don't think they got the straight. I mean,
I don't think Seidel's gonna bluff the river if I just call.
So you might as well make them pay the price if they want to call.
I think so. I'm okay if you got the other reads though.
The only thing is Nick was kind of looking down, like trying to play real weak. Makes me look like he's strong, but go with it.
Funny little side note here. If you are ever finding yourself playing doubles poker championship action with Phil Galfond, I would be just like, Phil, whatever you say, just go ahead, whatever you say. I'm not smart enough to do anything like this. Phil Galfond, obviously a genius, and I would be intimidated in Greg Mueller's shoes right there.
The river's a 3 of diamonds, and Schulman and Seidel are absolutely crippled.
Seidel looks like he's wondering how that hand could have gone differently.
Should have felt a tough spot. I could have raised him on the flop, though, just to maybe get a little more information where we were.
I don't love that line of thinking. I think a call on the flop was definitely the right play.
I think that was an easy call. I don't think he should have played that too much.
Galfond in command of this one, cool as the other side of the pillow. Schulman, maybe a little caller's regret.
If you're not happy about
All right, so Seidel and Schulman are crippled. If you're just tuning in, we are watching the Doubles Poker Championship. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. But they are playing in pairs on this show, which means that Galfond goes pre-flop, Mueller goes flop, and it goes back and forth, turn and river. Same for Seidel and Schulman. So clearly a really funny, crazy format, and I think it is pretty brilliant to follow this and to see how it develops. We have plenty more heats coming, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for more action. We have heads-up action right now, and then we're going to go straight into the next heat with more superstar players.
Galfond thinking how to play the ladies.
Hoping to pillage with 2 queens. He's going to make it 8,500.
Oh, wow, what a cooler.
Wow. Holy.
Schulman calls.
Kings and
Very
queens?
trappish, this guy.
Flop is 10 high, all diamonds. Any chance all the chips don't go in?
Even with 3 diamonds, I'm pretty sure the money's going to hurry in.
Seidel checks. Action over to Mueller. Mueller bets 11,000.
Call.
Seidel's all in. Mueller insta calls.
Who's trapping? Who's
And it takes him for a second to realize that he's actually behind.
Wow. What a cooler.
What we were just talking about, I put this
Good action. And imagine now a diamond comes, right?
Nah, I think
But I
Greg's
mean,
better, yeah.
I know, I'm just saying it's so weird.
Yeah, that's nothing we could do.
Just seeing if a diamond comes
As a
down,
poker
so
player,
it's
how do you
down.
deal with situations like this? Just a cooler, huh?
Yeah, you just let it go. Roll it off.
All right, cooler here. Double up for Schulman and Seidel unless a queen comes on the river. Let's have a look. There is a 9, no diamond for anyone. Roger Smith says, what a hand. Indeed, one of my favorite hands of the show today. Eddie says, who would you pick, Fedor Holtz or Phil Galfond? Wow, that's a tough call. I think in this format, we might have to go Fedor Holtz because this is a no-limit hold'em, sort of a turbo MTT sit-and-go style. So clearly, Fedor is probably much more well-versed in that format. If it was a cash game, if it was PLO, I would definitely go Phil Galfond here. You guys in the chat, please let me know. Who would you want your teammate to be on this show? Would you go for Fedor Holtz or maybe Phil Galfond? Or would you rather play with Phil Hellmuth and maybe get him to berate you while you're on his team, which is also very possible? The possibilities are endless. Hellmuth did play in this. We saw Hellmuth earlier on the show. I think he's back later on this very episode.
200 big blinds deep each.
Well, he's going to raise.
That's awesome. That's an awesome structure to get.
Mueller's going to call with the 5-4 suited. And the flop misses both teams. Not surprising.
Oh, wow. I would think Schulman would bluff at that flop, but it's not such a believable bluff.
Well, he allows a 4 to peel off on the turn.
Mueller doesn't have much, but he bets right out.
Well, there's no reason for him not to think he has the best hand here, the way the action's gone, right?
It's true. The other option is to check and induce a bluff. That might be better. Wow, in this case, he bet and induced the bluff. The best of all possible lines.
But can he call? And what is Seidel trying to represent here? Is he trying to represent a 10 they slow played?
It's not that believable of a raise, Mueller calls. Mueller's a little bit of an unknown freak in the reading ability category. He is really special in that area.
I love
9
it.
of diamonds on the river.
I love this format.
Galfond knows all he has is a bluff catcher. He checks.
This is great.
Schulman deciding whether to continue. Mueller probably hoping he does continue.
This is what I love about doubles poker. Your teammate takes one line, and whether you're comfortable with it or not, you're expected to follow through. Schulman does not follow through. He checks.
Eric looks disappointed. He wanted follow through.
Oh my God, the dynamics are just off the charts with this format. You can see Seidel's disappointment when Schulman doesn't fire the bluff. Oh my God, I love this. I want to see this format again. This might be my favorite new poker format. New meaning that I've never seen it before. This is very old. This is from back in 2009, 10, somewhere in that range. People are asking where I'm at right now. I'm in Las Vegas right now, coming at you from Las Vegas. When the pandemic is over and everything is back to normal, if you are ever in Vegas, hit me up and I'll give you a tour of the PokerGO studio. Of course, if my schedule permits, but that should be very possible. All right, we have an all-in and a call.
Yeah, Schulman and Seidel at risk right now. They're big favorites. Okay. Not anymore. Wow, what a flop.
Things have changed dramatically. Actually, not that dramatically.
Pretty dramatically.
5 of clubs.
Lots of outs.
Galfond and Mueller. Straight draw, flush draw. There's the straight, and that's it. 5 of hearts. Schulman and Seidel drawing dead. Galfond and Mueller win.
All right, Galfond and Mueller win this one. I'm seeing lots of good ideas in the chat. A Pro-Am version of the Doubles Poker Championship. That would be the way to go. I agree. Whoever said that in the chat, let me see who said that. I think that's a great idea. A Pro-Am version of this would be awesome. Kevin Leeds said that. I think that is great. A celebrity with a poker pro. Can you imagine Negreanu with Kevin Hart or something along those lines? All right, here's our next lineup coming up in just a few minutes. Let me give some shouts to the people in the chat. Rickard says Tony G. He always loves watching Tony G. Chevy Pick says, for real? I don't know what that means, Chevy. Well, what are you talking about? I would love to react to what's on your mind. John says, this dealer did all of TV poker shows. He's everywhere. Yes, he is. This guy did basically every Poker After Dark episode back in the day. Mike watching from South Carolina. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, here we have the match 12 lineups. It is Howard Lederer and David Chu. Howard has tons of points already. Andy Block and Justin Smith, they both need a lot of help to make it into the next round. David Benjamin has 0 points, and then Eric Lindgren has 31 points. He's looking really good. And then we have Gus Hansen and Vivek Rajkumar, 11 and 31 points respectively. All right, they are playing once more in this heat to get some points for the next round, and we'll have to find out to see who wins. And as always on the show, let me know who you're rooting for here in this matchup. This is one with maybe not the biggest names, but I have to probably lean towards the Gus Hansen team on this next heat. Gary says, so the only time they can discuss is when they take a timeout. How many timeouts do they get? They get 1 timeout per heat per team. Only one. So you have to be really careful and wise when you use your timeout. And that's the only time you are allowed to play or allowed to talk strategy about the hand.
Put the other players who might need to creep up in the rankings to a decision.
Block gonna raise it up with the suited connector. Well,
oh, Chevy Picks meant a tour about the studio. I'm actually dead serious. When COVID is dealt with and everything is safe, so maybe at the end of this year or maybe in 2022, if you are ever in Vegas, I will give you a tour of the PokerGO studio. I'll show you all the behind the scenes. If you're nice to me and if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. But that's no joke.
He's flopped an open-ended straight draw.
Maybe if you have a couple of... But I'm a little shy right now.
He's going to bet 4,000. Lindgren with second pair.
Smith hoping to win it right here. The risk is that he gets raised, can't play his hand.
Lindgren calls.
I'm on Team Gus for this one.
Well, turn pairs the board, 7 of spades.
That's a relatively good card for Justin to continue bluffing.
Yeah, it would be Justin, but this is doubles poker, so the cards go from teammate to teammate. So now it's Andy Block's decision. And he's going to check. Over to Benjamin. He's got 2 pair, 10s and 7s with his ace kicker. I think he's fairly certain he's ahead.
There's a case for just checking that turn. There are so many draws on board that you might want your opponent to think you're on a draw, possibly get him to bluff the river.
No, this is a 1 hour show, right?
Good fold. Well done. Some teamwork there. Now that is teamwork. One guy bluffs, the other guy intimidates the other guy into folding.
All right, Howard, shut up. I don't want to listen to you talk. All right, Michael Sierra says, we need more PLO. No PLO video in the future. I promise you, I will have Phil Galfond on this show, and we will watch Pot Limit Omaha, and maybe I'll have Joey Ingram back on the show as well to watch some PLO from back in the olden days. Both guys are very busy. I know Galfond wants to do the show. We'll make it happen at some point. I have him already confirmed to be on the show in the future. I also have Patrick Antonius and Jamie Gold confirmed, but also have not been able to slot them in for a time slot. I will also have Lex Veldhuis back on the show to watch the 2009 WSOP. Apple says, what's Gus up to these days? I think just Gus Hansen things. Just gambling big, being a cool guy, and hopefully when COVID is dealt with and international travel is a bit easier, we can have him on the new season of High Stakes Poker that we're hoping to tape somewhere in the spring. Searzis says, does Lindgren still play? I read somewhere he had some issues. I do not know. He played some lower stakes events in the last couple of years. Hopefully he's doing well, and I heard about the same sort of issues, but yeah, hope he's doing well. He's always been very, very nice to me, and always rooting for someone to get back on top. All right, back to the action here. Top two pair against middle pair.
Hansen's going to bet about half the pot. They figure to be way ahead, don't want to lose their opponent, and they are way ahead, 98% favorites. Benjamin calls.
Standard there.
Turn brings the queen of spades. And Benjamin and Lindgren have now picked up a gut shot to Broadway.
I believe the poker rooms are open in Vegas. You will not see me near any of them until things get a little better. But I do know that the action is hot and heavy at some of the casinos on the Strip. Dave Cohen says, are there any U.S.-based short deck high-stakes poker shows? There are not. I believe there might have been a short deck PLO game on Poker After Dark last year. But I don't think there's any other high stakes action on PokerGO. I do know Triton did a whole bunch of that action. We haven't. Personally, I'm not a big fan of short deck. I think it's pretty boring, actually. I think the old school No Limit Hold'em is way more fun. Who wants to hear Howard Lederer talk? Let me know in the chat. I don't.
All four teams still remain. David Benjamin desperately needing that 20-point first place victory. Action over to Raj Kumar.
By the way, we are doing a giveaway as well on Instagram. Go to PokerGo on Instagram. Comment on the latest photo featuring Rick Solomon and let us know who your favorite player is on the new season of High Stakes Poker. We are giving away some swag bags, some goodies to some of the people that comment on that post. So don't forget to like us, follow us on Instagram, and leave a comment on that post if you want to be entered into a random draw for the goodies. It's a t-shirt, a hat, a whole bunch of stuff, and I will announce the winner on Tuesday's show.
Exactly. A lot of players would just call there.
Well, we saw Benjamin actually call just a couple of hands earlier with the ace-10. Back over to Raj Kumar.
Timeout.
Wow, and he calls a timeout. And remember, each team only gets one 30-second timeout.
Oops, they can probably see my mouth. He's 4 clubs. Probably just pitch it, right?
Yeah,
I think it's like a fine 4-betting hand, but he just 3-bet me, so I don't feel like he's gonna 3-bet bluff me again.
No, I don't think so. I thought the first time I wouldn't mind the free shipping, but here I just it's an okay hand to call. But I think we just want to.
Vivek and Gus on the same page. I love to see it.
Well, they were definitely either moving in or
this is television history.
There was no way they were calling.
Well, I think that's what he did.
I wanted to ship, he wanted to fold.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
This is the new 2010 tight ass Gus.
Yeah, no. How many points do you have, Gus?
How
about you? 31.
Keep in mind, by the way, if you're just tuning in, this was a $50,000 buy-in event with $1 million up top for the winning team. After the 12 heats that were being played, I believe this might be the last one, or maybe we have 2 more coming. I'm not entirely sure. We have a playoffs and then a final. And then once you get into the playoffs, you will play with that person for the remainder of the tournament series.
All in with the ace-king of spades.
Aggressive, most players would raise small and hope that a weaker hand would chip on top.
I'm not going to make any mistakes this hand, okay, buddy?
I mean, almost as if he doesn't want action with the ace-king. Strange play, huh?
I don't like it. I prefer a small raise.
Eric, you can't show him your cards.
Oh, it's all in.
It's not.
Oh, it's whether I call or not?
Yeah, he can't. He
You
can't
have
help
tons
you.
of action to think. You've got all those chips to think about.
Yeah, you can show him if it's like
But
a deuce and you're
I
just
really
pretending
did
it's
because I had a king, so it was either a king or an ace, and I called.
Okay. Good.
So let's just use a little bit of guidance from the Lord above.
Howard's in the right here. Can't show the hand to your teammate. He might signal that he would like a call.
The only time you can talk to your teammate while you have a hand is during your 132nd timeout. Action on Andy Block. He's got the ladies, 2 red ones. Make it 5,600.
Brois on YouTube is asking if Vegas is generally open. It is, but I would not recommend coming here right now. A lot of the shows are not running. A lot of the fun events, nightclub, that sort of thing is not really the same as it was in the past. So you might as well save that money until things come back, like the big shows and the fun experiences. And we can all agree that things are going to be a lot more fun. First of all, when it's warmer in the city because it's pretty cold here right now. Second off, when the pandemic is dealt with in a better way, so that we can all just safely party and have fun and do all that good stuff. So if you are looking to come to Vegas, I would just put it off for a few more months and hopefully see some positive news.
We only have one timeout? Yep. Then I'm all in.
And Hansen is all in.
Big hands clashing here.
Well, easy decision for Lederer.
We're all in too.
Block is all in.
Oh, baby.
Oh, that's not good. Wow, is David gonna tank now?
Oh, baby.
I have to. Come on, David.
I'm not going for the full points.
So this is important to remember. David Benjamin has 0 points. He needs to win this round, so take a lot of risk in order to have a chance to make the next round. So I think that's why he's seriously considering this with 10-9 suited.
I gotta remember.
All I know is we still have our one timeout. That's all I know.
Got these chips also over here.
I've always said that if you knock out a guy with a timeout, you
Benjamin needs the 20 points. He needs to win. But would you ever call here gambling? Trying to get all the chips?
Never. Benjamin's just posturing here. It's much better for him to wait for another spot. He's not getting the odds to call.
It's a strong play when somebody calls the all in without using the timeout.
Raj Kumar may be questioning Hansen's play. But if Raj Kumar hadn't used the one timeout they had, maybe they would have discussed it.
All right, we're looking for an ace for the Hansen-Rajkumar pairing. Justy says, Remko, just watching the intro, how would pro and amateur pairing sound? Yes, I love that. Someone else brought it up earlier. I think a pro-am doubles poker championship would be amazing, but I do think it has to be a random draw. So it cannot be, you sign up as a pair, because if Bill Perkins and one of his friends sign up, maybe, someone who's really good at poker, along with Bill, they have a huge advantage because Bill is pretty decent himself as well. So I think that they need to have an equal amount of players on each side. So maybe, something like 8 pros and 8 amateurs / recreational players, and then do a random draw for who gets to play with who and make something fun out of it. I think it could be really fun. I think this format is really a lot of fun to watch. And as you can see, the players are having a lot of fun at the table. And hopefully we can bring it back in some capacity. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Adi says, is this live? This was filmed back in 2009 or 10. I'm live, though. I'm live here with the shouts, live here hanging out with you guys, making you guys aware of the fact that we have all this content available on PokerGO. You can watch all episodes of the Doubles Poker Championship on PokerGO right now. If you're new to the site, use the promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual subscription. And also, keep in mind that we have new episodes of High Stakes Poker airing every Wednesday and new episodes of Poker After Dark every Monday.
10-8 suited. Looks good to Benjamin. He's going to raise it up to 7,000.
Yeah, 40.
Lederer folds. He shows his teammates his cards. And once again, you're allowed to show your teammate your cards after you fold.
15 and 12 now.
Moving on up.
Doing big things.
Now, King 4, not a very pretty hand. Strong enough to call a raise, though, out of the blinds?
It's right at the margin.
Tough hand to play out of position, though, huh?
Very tough, yeah. Most players would fold.
7, Queen 5. A whole bunch of nothing there for both teams. Action on Justin Smith. He's first to speak.
This flop miles away from these holdings.
He checks. Lindgren.
Timeout.
Team 3.
Well, this is an interesting timeout.
Strategic. Making it look like there's some kind of decision here.
You want to make them believe we have a big hand? That's why you did that?
Yeah. So, should I underbet or bet? Kind of a standard continuation bet.
What do you think?
I think this week. I think this week. So, just 5,500. Maybe I should make it even smaller.
5,500? How much is there? It's like 14,
15.5. 15.5.
Okay, it's 15.5. Still on that, like what?
8,500.
Okay.
This is funny. I love this.
I love it. This is the first time we've seen a timeout really used for strategic purposes.
Yeah, we should see that more often. I like this a little bit. I don't love it. The trade-off is that it's a little more likely that your bet does indeed work, but you've wasted your timeout. So at least it's a marginally positive use of the timeout. We've seen a lot of negative uses of the timeout.
Smith tosses his cards in the muck.
Exploratory timeout.
I do think that if the Pro-Am ever becomes a thing, each player should have the option to call a timeout. You know, Benjamin and Lindgren both have a timeout card, so they can each pick a moment to call a timeout. I think that would be really a lot of fun. Serial says, calling a timeout makes you look so strong, LOL. Yeah, I agree. I think that in this case, it does. And I also think that there's a lot more dynamics behind the scenes in your mind to consider. Because think about this, you know, how many layers are we talking here? We're talking about Benjamin raising, Andy Block calling, and then Justin Smith checking, and then the action is on Lindgren. So his first action in the hand, without putting a single chip in the middle, is calling a timeout. I think it's pretty brilliant. I think it's really fun, and I think it goes to show how intricate this format is. And you have to make reads on two people, and as a team, it goes back and forth.
Pocket jacks for Lindgren. He's going to raise it up to 7,000. Same amount that Benjamin just raised it up, and Chu is all in with the weak ace.
Very quickly.
Queen 10 of hearts, pretty, but you can't call an all in, can you?
A speedy all-in usually indicates a bluff, more often than not. Lindgren, of course, not hesitating to call with 2 jacks.
Lindgren and Benjamin in great shape to eliminate Lederer and Chu.
All right, big all in here.
It's just flop a couple jacks.
Lederer has 31 points, but Chu only has 15. Can ill afford a 4 here, and that's what he's facing. 10-5 deuce, pair of deuces for Chu and Lederer. 3 of diamonds on the turn. Close, but no cigar. Does give him a gut shot to the wheel.
Can't even ask for a pair anymore.
A 4, a deuce, or an ace. Nope, an 8 of clubs won't do it, and Lederer and Chu are eliminated in 3rd place.
All right, we are down to heads-up action here. Andy Block and Justin Smith versus David Benjamin and Eric Lindgren here on the Doubles Poker Championship. Wow, I love that we have had so many interactions on the show today. I will once again remind everyone to please like this video. It helps me a lot. It helps other people find the stream. And since you guys are watching, that means you like it. So if you like the video, other people will also be aware of the fact that I'm doing this. All right, I'm also going to be back on Tuesday. It's going to be 1 p.m. on the East Coast. I have I said I would have a guest today. It didn't work out. I'm still hopeful, fingers crossed, for a guest on Tuesday. A big guest. I've got some lines out, some cool names.
Of the 4 remaining players, the only player that's really in good shape is Eric Lindgren. Everybody needs to win except Lindgren. At this point, Lindgren is pretty much playing with the house money. A second-place finish will get him into the playoffs.
He does get an extra 10,000 on top if he wins the match.
A lot of snowmen out there now.
This is just impossible to play out of position. Lindgren a huge favorite to win this pot.
This is one of those spots where, yeah, 9 high is ahead, but it doesn't really make a difference. It's all about position, huh?
Exactly. Because the 8-8-8 changes nothing relative to the pre-flop play.
7-9 of diamond?
No, it's 8 of hearts. It was a door card.
7-9 of hearts?
6-7.
Wow. We had you.
Lindgren and Benjamin take a slight lead in this heads-up battle.
I haven't seen Andy Block in a very long time. The metal guy is wondering if he still plays. I do not know. I haven't seen him in a long time, so curious to hear from him. Would be cool to have him in an interview at some point.
Up at the Queen 9. Lindgren not going to play the suited 6.
I thought about moving in there pre-flop. I thought about moving in there pre-flop. But I mean, a place is a strict place.
Oh, yeah.
10% of the stack.
I think Block is talking about the previous hand. He's considering what would have been if he pushed the 6-7 of hearts.
Well, it's interesting. You got Justin Smith, who's kind of a new school, definitely knows the mathematics of the game. But if there's anybody who knows the mathematics of the game, it's Andy Block. We're talking about the MIT guy.
I just texted Brent Hanks to get the phone number of Andy Block, and if anyone has it, Brent will have it, or maybe I should ask Maury Eskandani. But it would be cool to watch the 07 50K horse, or sorry, 06 50K horse with Andy Block, because that was, of course, the time that he went heads up with Chip Reese. So fingers crossed, I'll be able to make that happen in the future. All right, 8s versus 9s all in, big moment.
I trapped him with my 9s.
We need the 8 of hearts
I trapped
again.
him with my nuisance.
So yeah, Phil Hellmuth.
The 8 of hearts is the door card again.
He takes it whether he's at the table or not. Jack 7 ace.
Like ace rag.
Smith and Block, they are at risk. They need an 8. Ooh, close. 6 of clubs.
Come on, give a red 3 across. I guess the 7's out there already.
They need the 8 of hearts or the 8 of diamonds on the river, or match number 12 is over. It's over. The King of Hearts, not going to help. Block and Smith.
I'll bet on it.
And Benjamin still alive.
We won, guys.
Under pressure, his back against the wall. He comes out with a victory.
I really like the way Benjamin and Lindgren played this one. They took a lot of small gambles, but when the big chips were in play, they were always in great shape.
Good luck.
Well played, Sean.
A little bro love as Benjamin and Lindgren secure 20 points for Benjamin, halfway to a miracle playoff appearance. Everyone else, technically alive. Let's check in with Lacey Jones, who is with...
All right, as Lacey Jones interviews the winners of this heat, I just want to mention to everyone asking, where are Hellmuth and Ivey? Well, if you would have tuned in at the start, you would have seen Hellmuth and Ivey because they were definitely battling on this show. They, of course, went through their heats, were eliminated. We just watched the match results from match number 12. I'll be back with more action on Tuesday. Still TBD what we're going to watch. Depends on the guests and whether they pull through. I don't want to announce it just yet, but we're waiting on a confirmation. If it all works out, it's going to be a lot of fun. If it doesn't work out, it's also going to be a lot of fun because that would mean that I am watching more of this show with you guys. This was episode 5 and 6. If you want to keep watching the action, please go to PokerGO.com right now and dive into episode 7 as the Doubles Poker Championship will continue there because all that stuff is already available on PokerGO. One more time, let me let you know. Go to PokerGO on Instagram, leave a comment and a like on our most recent photo featuring Rick Solomon, and let us know who your favorite player is on the latest season of High Stakes Poker. New episodes coming out every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and new episodes of Poker After Dark coming out every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So don't miss out on any of that action. I'll be back on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. For now, thank you all so much for watching. If I could ever get Phil Ivey on the show, I would totally do it, but I don't think that's in the cards just yet. However, everybody has to like this video before leaving. Otherwise, you know, What am I even doing here if you guys can't even like the video? I appreciate you guys as always, just messing around. Thank you so much. I'll be back on Tuesday. I hope everyone has a good Friday and a good weekend. And if I didn't catch you already earlier, Happy New Year. And we'll be back with more action on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.